I should have been in Portland. My meeting with investors was scheduled for 2 in the afternoon, and I had rehearsed my presentation so many times I could recite it in my sleep. But at 6 in the morning on a Tuesday in March, United Airlines decided my flight would have a 6-hour mechanical delay. Denver International Airport became my temporary prison, and I resigned myself to spending the day between overpriced coffee and souvenir shops that nobody really needs. It was at the Starbucks in Terminal C while I was waiting for my 3rd coffee of the day that I heard that laugh. It wasn't loud or showy. It was the kind of soft laughter that seems to dance in the air, musical, genuine, impossible to fake. I knew that sound. I had spent 2 years of my life doing everything to hear it, and then 30 years trying to forget it. I turned slowly, my heart already knowing what my mind was still processing. And there she was. Caroline Bennett, now probably Caroline something else, sitting at a corner table with an open laptop and a cup of tea in her hand. She wore a navy blazer over a cream blouse, her brown hair, now threaded with silver strands that somehow made her even more beautiful, pulled back in a loose bun. She was laughing at something on the computer screen, and for a moment I was 22 again, watching her laugh at a book in the university library, completely captivated. "Your coffee, sir." The barista pulled me back to the present. I took the cup, my hands trembling slightly. 30 years, 3 decades since the last time we spoke, since she boarded that plane to London with a scholarship, and promises that we would keep in touch. Promises that dissolved like mist in the face of the reality of oceans, time zones, and lives moving on. I should have left. Should have returned to my gate and buried myself in my laptop pretending I hadn't seen her. Instead, my feet betrayed me, carrying me through the crowded cafe until I stopped a few feet from her table. "Caroline?" She looked up, and I saw the exact moment she recognized me. Her eyes, still that impossible shade of green that changed with the light, widened. Her cup of tea stopped halfway to her mouth. For an endless heartbeat, neither of us moved. "Michael?" My name came out as a question, as if she couldn't completely trust her eyes. "Michael Preston?" "The same." I tried to smile, but I was sure it looked more like a grimace. "Sorry to appear out of nowhere like this. I saw you and, well, it would seem strange not to say hello." No, please." She closed the laptop quickly, gesturing to the empty chair across from her. "Sit down. My God, I can't believe it. How long has it been?" 30 years. The answer came out automatically. "You were going to Heathrow. I was going to, well, nowhere without you." Her expression softened, and I saw something cross her face. Memory, perhaps, or regret. "Michael." "Sorry, that was inappropriate." I sat down, gripping my coffee like a lifeline. "Let me start over. How have you been, Caroline? You look amazing." A laugh escaped her, more nervous this time. "You were always a terrible liar. I'm 51, flying economy, and I haven't slept properly in a week because of this corporate merger that won't stop going wrong." She paused, tilting her head. "But thank you. You look good too. Aged like those literature professors who always had that cardigan and beard charm." I laughed, touching my beard self-consciously. "My daughter says it makes me look like a writer who lives in a cabin in Maine." "You have a daughter?" It wasn't a question, but there was something in her voice, curiosity mixed with something else I couldn't identify. 2, actually. Sophie is 26, works in sustainable architecture in Seattle. Maya is 23, finishing her master's in marine biology. I pulled out my phone, showing the lock screen photo of the 2 of them at the beach last summer, tanned and laughing. "And you?" Caroline looked at the photo longer than necessary. "One son, Thomas. He's 28, a doctor in Boston." She reached for her purse, getting her phone. The photo she showed me was of a young man with glasses and a gentle smile, in a white coat, with a stethoscope around his neck. "He looks like his father." "Your husband," I started, then stopped, not knowing how to finish the sentence. "Ex-husband. The divorce was finalized 18 months ago." She took a sip of tea, avoiding my gaze. "It turned out that 14 years of marriage can unravel very quickly when you both realize you're just sharing an address, not a life." "I'm sorry." "Don't be. It was amicable finally. Civilized. We just..." grew in different directions. She looked at me. And you? Divorced 4 years ago. Jennifer was a good woman, a wonderful mother, but I think neither of us was really what the other needed. The admission hurt less than I expected. Maybe because it was true, or maybe because sitting here with Caroline, the past seemed to be bleeding into the present in ways I no longer had the energy to resist. An announcement echoed through the terminal. More delays, more apologies. Caroline checked her watch and sighed. My flight to San Diego was cancelled. They rebooked me on a flight at 7 tonight. Mine to Portland is delayed until noon. I hesitated, then plunged in. Seems like the universe wants us to have coffee together. She smiled. That smile I had carried in my memory like a talisman for 3 decades. Or the universe has a terrible sense of humor about timing. Remember the last time we were together at an airport? As if I could forget. Logan International Airport, 1995. She with a huge suitcase full of dreams, me with a barely disguised broken heart and a pathetic attempt to be brave. I said I would wait for you, I said quietly. That it didn't matter how long it took. And I said it wasn't fair to ask that you deserved to live your life. Caroline put down her cup, her hands trembling slightly. I thought about you, you know, during all those years in London, wondered if I had made the right choice. You did. The words came out firmer than I felt. Caroline, you earned your doctorate, worked for the Foreign Office, got married, had a son. You lived the life you were supposed to live. And you, did you live the life you were supposed to? The question stopped me. I thought about Jennifer, about our girls, about the consulting firm I had built from scratch. I thought about the nights I had stayed awake, wondering what it would be like if Caroline had stayed, if I had gone with her, if we had been brave enough to try. I built a good life, I said finally. Not perfect. Not what I imagined when I was 22, but good, meaningful. But, she leaned forward, those green eyes pinning me in place. But there was a Caroline-shaped hole in it that I could never really fill. The confession came out before I could stop it. Jennifer knew. She never said it directly, but she knew there was someone before her who had marked my heart in a way she could never erase. Caroline closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, they were bright with unshed tears. Jonathan, my ex, said something similar. In the end, when we were deciding to separate, he asked me if I still thought about you. I said no, but we both knew it was a lie. The cafe around us continued its chaotic ballet. Hurried travelers, crying children, flight announcements, the hiss of espresso machines. But at our little corner table, time seemed to slow down, folding in on itself until past and present became indistinguishable. Why did you never reach out? I had to ask. On social media, email, anything. I looked for you. For years I looked. Fear, she admitted. Fear that you had moved on completely. Fear that you hadn't. Fear of opening that door and finding out that what we had was just glorified nostalgia. She cleared her throat. And you? Why did you never look for me? The same fears, and... I paused, deciding whether to continue. I went to London, twice. The first time was 6 months after you left. I flew impulsively, planning to show up at your apartment and declare my eternal love like a romantic fool. What happened? I saw you through a cafe window in Bloomsbury. You were with a group of friends laughing, so radiant and alive, and I realized you didn't need me showing up and complicating your new life. So I went back home. And the second time? 5 years later. I was married by that point, but I was in London on business. I looked up your name online, found out where you worked. I walked to the building 3 times, but never went in. I laughed without humor. Jennifer was pregnant with Sophie. It seemed wrong, disloyal to look for you when I was building a family. Caroline reached across the table, placing her hand on mine. The touch was electric, familiar and strange at the same time. Michael, those years in London, they were amazing, but also the loneliest of my life. I was surrounded by brilliant people, incredible experiences, opportunities beyond dreams. But I would have traded it all for one night in your tiny apartment in Cambridge, eating cheap pizza and debating Hemingway. You hated Hemingway, I said, my voice hoarse. I hated that you loved him so much. She smiled through tears. But I loved how your eyes lit up when you talked about him. We sat there, hands connected across the stained coffee table, while the airport spun around us. I should have felt ridiculous, a 52-year-old man holding hands with his first love in a Starbucks, like we were 17. Instead, it felt like the most natural thing in the world. I don't know what to do with this, Caroline said quietly. With you being here now, it feels impossible. It feels like fate. It feels terrifying. All of the above, I agreed. But maybe we don't have to decide everything now. Maybe we can just be here, two old friends stuck in an airport. We're more than old friends, Michael. I know. I squeezed her hand. But I don't want to scare you, don't want to pressure you. I looked around the terminal, searching for a sign. At least 6 more hours until our flights. Let's just talk like we used to. And we talked. God, how we talked. We ordered more coffee, then sandwiches we barely touched, then more coffee. She told me about her work in international relations, about living in 4 different countries, about learning to make bread during the pandemic. I talked about my daughters, about building my company, about finally getting back to writing fiction at 48. We discovered that we had both developed a love for gardening, that we both woke up at 5 in the morning to meditate, that we had both lost parents in recent years and struggled with the weight of becoming orphans even in middle age. Do you still read poetry? Caroline asked as the afternoon dissolved into early evening. Every morning. It's like prayer in a way. Do you remember the poem you recited to me on our first night, on the Charles River? I remembered. Of course I remembered. I carry you with me, I began softly, and saw recognition in her eyes. I carry you in my heart, E. Cummings. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet, she continued, her voice blending with mine. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world. We finished together, our voices soft amid the airport noise. The silence that followed was thick with possibility. Caroline looked at her phone, then at the departure board, then at me. My gate starts boarding in 40 minutes. Mine in an hour. Opposite directions, she said, and there was a note of something that sounded like despair in her voice. It doesn't have to be that way. The words came out rushed, urgent. Caroline, I don't know what this is or what it means, but I know I can't let you get on that plane without at least asking. Would you have dinner with me next week or next month or whenever you can? I'd fly to San Diego, you could come to Portland, I don't care, I can't spend another 30 years wondering. She studied me for a long moment, and I saw a battle happening behind those green eyes, reason against emotion, fear against hope, past against future. I'm so scared, she finally whispered. Scared that we're not those people anymore, scared that we are. Scared of ruining the memory, scared of not trying. Me too. I leaned forward, closing the space between us. But maybe being scared together is better than being safe apart. When did you get so wise? 30 years of loving the wrong woman taught me the value of recognizing the right one. Caroline let out a breath that was half laugh, half sob. Then slowly she picked up her phone and opened something. This is my number, my real number, not work. Call me when you land in Portland. I promise. I put my number in her phone. And Caroline, I will call. Not in 3 months, not when it's convenient. Tonight. Good, she smiled. Shy, hopeful, terrifying and brave all at once. I'll answer. We walked together until our gates diverged, neither of us wanting to be the first to let go of the other's hand. At the dividing point, where the directions for C-27 and B-42 pulled us onto opposite paths, we stopped. 30 years ago, I let you go, I said, framing her face with my hands. It was the right decision then. You needed your wings, and I needed to learn who I was without you. But now we choose. Not fate, not circumstances, not other people's expectations. Us. Michael Preston, you were always better with words than me. She leaned into my touch, her eyes closing briefly. But you're right. This time, we choose. She leaned in and kissed me, soft, brief, loaded with 3 decades of longing and the promise of all the conversations yet to come. When she pulled away, her eyes were shining. "See you soon," she said. "Very soon," I promised. I watched her walk toward gate B42, her suitcase rolling behind her, that navy blazer disappearing into the crowd. And then I turned toward C27, my heart lighter than it had been in years. My phone buzzed as I was sitting down at the gate. A message from Caroline. "You always hated Hemingway too. You just pretended to like him to impress your professors." I laughed, typing back, "True, but I loved how you rolled your eyes every time I quoted him." Her response was immediate. "I'm as scared as I am hopeful. Is that normal?" "Completely. Me too." "Safe travels, Michael. Talk to you tonight. You can count on it." When I boarded the plane to Portland, I was no longer thinking about the missed meeting or the disappointed investors. I was thinking about a green-eyed woman on a flight to San Diego and how sometimes delays take us exactly where we need to be. Fate, I discovered, isn't about grand romantic gestures or impossible coincidences. It's about choosing courage when the universe gives you a second chance. It's about two hearts that never really forgot, finally ready to remember together. As the plane took off, I looked down at the airport below. That labyrinth of gates and terminals where lives intersect for seconds before diverging forever. Except sometimes, if we're very lucky and have a little faith, they don't diverge. Sometimes, after all the departures, we finally arrive home.